Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel Journey with Vijay Kumar Srivastav. Today we are going to study the topic topping and sucker control in tobacco crop. Before presentation I would like to introduce myself. I am Vijay Kumar Srivastav. I have done MS Agriculture with a specialization in agronomy and presently associated with seed industry related to hybrid seed production activity. This video has been prepared considering the various agriculture competitive examinations. Hope this will be useful to all of you. So let's proceed. Here to understand topping and desuckering. Topping in tobacco refers to the removal of terminal bud just after the appearance of flower's head. When a tobacco plant is topped, many lateral shoots, which are known as suckers, start to grow particularly fast. The removal of suckers is known as desuckering. Suckers could be controlled by suckericides along with manual desuckering. As topping and desuckering in tobacco is concerned, most of the types of tobacco grown in the country are topped and desuckered for improving the size, body and quality of the leaves. The main aim of topping and desuckering operation is to divert the energy and nutrients of the plant from flower head to leaves, which influence the yield and quality of tobacco. Topping and desuckering not preferred in wrapper tobacco, where the texture is one of the important criteria. The flow-cured Virginia tobacco grown in the black soils, lead topping is recommended to improve the body of the leaf. Even now, if the growth of the crop is rank and the color of the leaf is dark green, topping is avoided. All other types of tobacco are topped. In detail study about topping, when flower heads begin to show, the plants are topped by removing off the top of the plant. Topping means removal of the terminal bud or flower head alone or along with some one of the top leaves. This practice stimulated the development of the remaining leaves. Topping is a very important operation for the quality of tobacco leaf. It gives an uniform quality product, leaving 10 leaves on the plant beside 2 end leaves. What are the benefits of topping? Topping consists of removal of the terminal bud with or without some of the small top leaves just before or after the emergence of the flower head. 15 to 20 cm from uppermost leaves are removed. This topping practice stimulates the development of the remaining leaves. It gives a uniform quality product and prevents excessive coarseness in tobacco. Topping prevents the plants from producing seeds and allows carbohydrates and other nutrients to go towards vegetative parts instead of reproductive. In case of tobacco, vegetative part is important, so we have to avoid reproductive operations. Topping practice cause thickening of leaves and increase their body, and it also helps in increasing nicotine and nitrogen content in upper leaves. Topping causes uniform ripening of leaves and high quality leaves. In case of topping, removal of flower bud takes away the apical dominance, and the buds in the top 3 to 4 axils grow rapidly to replace the plant's reproductive capabilities. In topping, first the primary buds gets stimulated. Removal of these primary buds in turn stimulates the secondary buds. Topping is associated with improved root system and leaf thickness and weight to improve its quality. Now stages and level of topping. It varies from type to type of tobacco grown. In case of flue-cured tobacco, in which as topping is concerned only flower head is removed. In case of Verlet tobacco, topping is done at 12 to 24 leaves level. In case of Cheroot tobacco, it is done at 14 to 16 leaves level. In cigar filler tobacco, it is done at 12 to 14 leaves level. In hookah and chewing tobacco, it is done at 8 leaves level. As bidi tobacco is concerned, topping is taking place at 13 to 15 leaves level, and in case of nattu tobacco, topping is also done as removing flower head. As level of topping is concerned, there should be judicious topping at first flower opening, topping at flower bud initiation at 24 leaves. There should be also bud topping and extended bud topping. As early topping is related, it reduces the populations of insects such as aphids and budworms that are attracted to the terminal bud and flower. And early topping is easier than later topping, since a stalk tissue is softer and much easier to break, and early topping generally provides the best yield and quality at 10 to 25% bloom. Topping increases the nicotine and nitrogen content of leaves because it is needed to improve the quality. The topping is depending upon the crop growth, uniformity and final quality requirements. Broadly, topping is classified as early at first sight of the bud and late topping when the first flower opens. It is classified as high topping and low topping depending on the number of leaves left on the plant. In case of flue-cured tobacco, it is ideal to top when first flower opens under black soil conditions, and in case of light soils irrigated condition, it is ideal to top when the plant is at the button stage. Now to go through suckers. When the plants are topped, apical dominance is broken and lateral buds called suckers are developing. The practice of removing these suckers is called desuckering. Suckers develop in tobacco plants from the shoot. These unwanted suckers grow with tobacco plants after topping and compete for food, light, moisture and space. These suckers are very healthy and usually grow at faster rate than tobacco leaves. These suckers thus not only rob the plants of their essential food elements but also harbor insect pests and disease organisms. Removal of suckers from tobacco plant is a laborious job and consumes a lot of labor and time if it is done manually. So due to the above reasons, it was thought essential to find out the proper suckericides and its concentration for sucker control so that tobacco crop can be raised without suckers and which would be economical. So these suckericides are the chemicals which are controlling suckers growth. Desuckering. Removal of the suckers is called desuckering. Manual removal of suckers by hands should be done 4 to 5 times at weekly intervals. And the main aim of desuckering operation is to divert the energy and nutrients of the plant from flower head to leaves, which influence the yield and quality of tobacco. Desuckering practice can be done by manually or by using suckericide chemicals such as malic hydrazide. The manual method is time consuming and laborious, and the removal of suckers should be done before they become large enough to restrict the development of leaves. So the desuckering should be done at appropriate time. Desuckering is conducted 5 to 6 times at an interval of a week. Topping and desuckering operations are interrelated and playing very important role for improving the quality of tobacco. After topping, the axillary buds grow, which are also known as suckers. Topping and the removal of subsequent suckers form a composite operation. If suckers are not removed timely, there is no use of topping. The management aspects of topping and desuckering are specific to tobacco types. Tobacco plant normally has 3 axillary buds in the axil of each leaf. Growth patterns of the axillary buds shows that suckers from the axil of top 3 leaves show determinate type of growth and may produce 6 to 7 internodes before ending its flower head. Determinate type of growth represents where the vegetative growth stops and reproductive growth takes place. Suckers emerging from the axils of bottom leaf show indeterminate growth and have the capacity to produce 20 to 25 internodes before ending its flower head. Indeterminate growth represents where the both vegetative and reproductive growth are continuing simultaneously. Sucker control. To get the full benefit of topping, suckers are to be removed periodically. This is a laborious and time-consuming job. Sucker control can be done either manually or by chemical methods. Hence, a number of experiments for the suppression of suckers by the application of oils, chemicals, hormones, etc. were conducted. Application of neem oil emulsions 15 to 20% in the top 5 to 6 axils control the sucker considerably H contact suckericide. See fatty alcohols in the form of emulsion like decanol or Royalton at the concentration of 4% or sucker out also control the suckers effectively H contact suckericide. There are systemic suckericides also like 2,4-D, NAA, MH30 which are effective in controlling the suckers. But the systemic suckericides after use remain in the leaves after harvest and produce undesirable residue problem. So these systemic suckericides are in use in India. Sucker control can be done by manually or by using chemicals. As manual sucker control is related, it is very labor intensive and there is manual stock rundown because of movement of labors. There are damages to the crop. It should be done 2 to 3 times. By use of manual sucker control, the chemical use like malic hydrazide is discouraged. For manual sucker control, there is average need of 5 man-hours per acre, and after using the labors, there is some workers' protection issues also. So we have to think about the safety of the working laborers. This manual sucker control is effective in long-term sucker control and it preserves the leaf quality also because we are not using chemicals. It should be done on time and the proper sucker control operations should be completed effectively. By manual sucker control, we can reduce the chemical use, spray volumes, can reduce the malic hydrazide application rates, and there are some research and extensions regarding developing the spray methods which will be beneficial and it is having the less harmful effects on leaf quality. Now chemical sucker control. Chemical sucker control programs are critical for removing and managing sucker growth following topping. The number of applications, approaches and programs for acceptable chemical sucker control vary widely and there is not one recipe for always managing suckers. Moreover, crop management practices such as avoiding excessive nitrogen, having uniform plants and managing root growth for upright plants indirectly affect and facilitate good sucker control. As chemical sucker control method is concerned, there are 3 types of chemical control. First one is using contact suckericides. which are not absorbed by plants, and these chemicals must have direct contact with suckers and leaf axils where they physically burn tender suckers. So in this case the suckers are controlled by burning when suckers are coming in contact with chemicals. Second is local systemic saccharide. These chemicals must have direct contact with leaf axils. These are absorbed into the plants and inhibit cell division and control suckers. Third one is systemic saccharide, which do not have to come into direct contact with suckers, and these are absorbed by the plants. They inhibit cell division. And malic hydrazide MH is the only true systemic product available for sucker control in tobacco. These systemic saccharide malic hydrazide products are available in three formulations. First one is Royal MH30, which is super sucker stuff known as Fair Plus, which are used at the rate 1.5 lb per gallon. Second is Royal MH30 Extra, which is sucker stuff known as Fair 30, which are used at the rate 2.25 lb/mh per gallon. Third is Royal MH30 SG, which is sucker stuff 80 EG, which is emulsifiable granules, which are known as Fair 80 SP. These are dry formulation which are containing 60% malic hydrazide by weight. A mixture of malic hydrazide at a reduced rate in combination with a local systemic is generally a better choice than malic hydrazide alone. Here we will go through various saccharide which are generally used for sucker control in tobacco. First one is contact saccharide. The examples are fatty alcohols, offshoot tea, Royaltech M, Fairtech, Fair 85, Sucker Plant, and Tech. As a controlling activity, these chemicals are active and giving the results within 1 to 2 hours, and this chemical kills actively growing tissues, and these are used at the rate 3.5 to 5% concentration solution and used at the rate 1.75 to 2.5 gallon for each 50 gallon of water. Second is local systemic saccharide, and the examples are dinitronelline DNA. Second is flumetrillin, which is the combination of Prime Plus or Flupro. Another is butyrilin and Dexalin Plus. As a controlling activity, these chemicals are stopping cell division, and these can be applied by drop line or hand sprayer. In case of coarse spray, there should be a straight boom with coarse nozzles. Third chemicals are systemic saccharide. Malic hydrazide is used as a systemic saccharide, and as activity control there is having systemic control of whole plant, and it is controlling the cell division. Here we will study about chemical flumetrillin, which is contact local systemic saccharide. Flumetrillin, which is Prime Plus or Flupro and Dexalin Plus, is a contact local systemic because it must touch the suckers to be effective, although it retards sucker growth by inhibiting cell division. Flumetrillin should be applied like a contact solution, but not until the plants are in the elongated button to early flower stage. This is a few days before malic hydrazide application is suggested. The objective is to apply flumetrillin so that it touches the small suckers like contact solutions do, because unlike malic hydrazide, flumetrillin doesn't move to sucker buds through the leaves. Flumetrillin must first wet the suckers like a fatty alcohol contact before it can stop cell division like a systemic saccharide. Therefore, flumetrillin is referred to as a contact local systemic. Flumetrillin has no true contact activity and the controlled suckers do not turn brown or black but rather look yellow and deformed for several weeks after treatment. Thorough coverage is a key to maximizing the effectiveness of plumetrillin. Now systemic saccharide, malic hydrazide. Malic hydrazide is the only true systemic because it is absorbed by leaves and translocated through the plant to small sucker buds. Good absorption and systemic movement depend on having good crop growing conditions. Therefore, malic hydrazide should never be applied on drought-stressed crop or on those wilted by too much rain or high temperatures or by both. It is best to apply malic hydrazide 1 to 3 days after a good rain or irrigation. When irrigation is not available, many growers use plumetrillin or one extra contact application to control suckers until enough rain comes for good malic hydrazide absorption. This should be viewed as buying time until rainfall occurs. Because if you have to get good results, there should be sufficient moisture in the field and good growing conditions. If soil moisture is adequate but afternoon temperatures will be high enough to cause partial wilting, malic hydrazide should be applied only during the morning, starting when the leaves are just slightly wet with dew. Afternoon spraying generally is not suggested except on cool, cloudy days when soil moisture is good. It is extremely difficult for growers with large acreage and only one sprayer to take advantage of the best weather conditions for malic hydrazide application. Some should consider buying another sprayer or using larger nozzles to allow faster application within good timings. Here we will go through research findings of different scientists related to sucker control. Rao et al. In 1993 reported that cured leaf yield was 3.2 tons per hectare when it was done hand desuckering and compared with chemical treatment with 3% sucker out where the yield was ranging 2.68 tons per hectare and with Ecotab it was 3.5 tons per hectare. Janardhan et al. In 1994 observed that chemical saccharide did not give significant higher cured leaf yield and nicotine and reduced sugar contents compared with manual desuckering. As per Patel et al. 1996 concluded that pendimethalin alone or combined with decanol gave the best sucker control and the highest cured leaf yield. Long et al. In 1990 indicated yield of tobacco was more when chemically topped with plumetrillin and fatty acid tank mixed and fatty acid and K-malic hydrazide compared with hand topping. Gregor et al. In 1992 studied that application of C-malic hydrazide alone reduced sucker fresh weight by about 37%. Patel et al. In 1990 investigated that number and weight of axillary suckers decreased with increase in neem oil concentration up to 40%. But pendimethalin gave the greatest control. Neem oil and pendimethalin gave greater control of axillary suckers than manual desuckering. Only pendimethalin was effective at controlling ground suckers. If application of coconut oil top 6 leaf axils given, the topping suppressed the suckers in the flucid Virginia tobacco. Another chemicals 2% naphthalene acetic acid in triethylamine applied to the topped portion of the stem suppressed the majority of the suckers in cigar and cheroot tobacco of Tamil Nadu growing conditions. Vegetable oils and hormones suppressed the suckers by 34 to 47% respectively. So these are the different findings of different scientists related to sucker control in case of tobacco crop. Some precautions should be followed while using suckericide to control suckers in tobacco crop. Fatty alcohols, contact alcohol chemicals, desiccate or burn tender sucker tissues. So, adequate concentration or the rate of chemicals should be applied. The degree of sucker kill with contact alcohols is directly related to the ratio of chemical to water. Therefore, it is extremely important to mix a specific amount of contact chemical with an exact amount of water for application. Most other chemicals like insecticides, herbicides and these pesticides should not be mixed with these suckericides, and there should be add only enough water to uniformly distribute the chemicals. So this presentation was all about topping and sucker control in tobacco crop. Hope this will be useful to all of you. Thank you very much. I have given here my YouTube channel details. Having request, please visit the channel, subscribe it and provide your kind and valuable feedback. Thank you.